Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you guys for the opportunity for us. And we are from group of social research method, and our member contain are about two person, me, Sayyidah Ilmanisa, and also my friends Restunissa, Kania, Mahesa. And we want to discuss about our discussion today according to positivism and also positivism. Okay, we are going to discuss for the first is sociological research paradigm. So the second is positivism, and the third is post-positivism, and last is conclusion. For the first speaker will be present by me, and for the first, you can see on the screen, guys, there is the explanation briefly about sociological research paradigm. And as we know that research paradigms, or we can say methodology and theoretical paradigms in the social sciences, have been built by many experts, all of which have developed and have different philosophical foundation, such as you can say ontology. So there is to epistemology and also methodology. Guba and then Zim are two philosophers who about this paradigm divide the research paradigm into five. The first is positivism, so or we can say naturalism. So the next is post-positivism, and also the critical theory, so constructivisms, and also participatory under the auspice of quantitative and also qualitative research method. So for the next, I want to explain about positivisms. For the first, positivism itself comes from the English positivisms. From the Latin, the name is positivismus or poner, which means to put. So positivism is a general term for a philosophical position that emphasizes the factual aspects of knowledge, particularly scientific knowledge. So declare natural science, or we can say empirical, as the only true source of knowledge, So all descriptions and issues beyond what exists as fact or reality are set aside. So this means that the source of knowledge is the real thing of positivism. So the founder of positivism is Auguste Comte, a French philosopher who built the foundation used by academics today. So, namely the application of the scientific method in the social sciences as mean of obtaining truth. So, Comte believed that society was part of the nature. So, comes to saw the natural developments of the science of society as the culmination of process of intellectual progress. So for the third, this progress includes the development of ancient theological forms of thought, or our scientific, so or metaphysical explanation, and finally to the information of positive scientific laws. So the next slide will be presented by my friends Restunissa, Kania, and the time is yours.
First of all, thank you for giving me time to explain this part. So we are talking about the post-positivism. It began to rise at 70s following a critique positivism by Thomas Kuhn and Karl Popper. They considered humans and nature to be different. Meanwhile, it's different with Auguste Comte. Like Hilma already said before, Comte is believed that nature is a part, taking a big role, like in post-positivism, it is impossible to compare between humans and nature. And humans are dynamic. Meanwhile, the nature is constant. We are moving, but nature is stay on its place. Then came the post-positivism paradigm, which is concerned with the paradigm of positivism and rejects the central tenets of positivism. One of the most common forms of post-positivism is a philosophy called critical realism. Post-positivism encourages experimental and survey researches in quantitative approach, as well as certain types of activity in qualitative research, such as case studies. And next, please. So here's the point of view if we are using a post-positivism. So post-positivism views that research cannot equate human and nature because humans are dynamic once again and always changing. Meanwhile, the nature is stay on its place. This paradigm states that the relationship between, the subject of the research, namely humans, are not separate but interactive with a minimum of subjectivity. Therefore, post-positivism uses triangulation by using various types of data, sources, and approaches to research principles. Thus, post-positivism tend to use mixed methods, if we are talking about qualitative and quantitative, so post-positivism usually use a mix between those two elements in conducting research. So mixed methods are considered to have the ability to gain a more, provide integrated and inclusive understanding. So the number of validation get more increase in a positive way. Next, please. And post-positivism generally is mean multiple measures and observation as we can tell about the mix methods and then triangulation across these multiple errorful sources to try to understand better what is happening in reality. And all observation are theory laden based on theory. So they have a theory on their hypothesis. And the fourth is all researchers are inherently biased by their cultural experience, worldviews, etc. And most positivists are constructivists. So yeah, that is kind of a fact. And who believe that, the constructivists is believe that they are construct their view of the world based on their perception. And the last one is objectivity by triangulation across multiple variables is perspective. Thus, objectivity is not the characteristic of an individual, it is inherently a social phenomenon. Okay, I guess we are going to jump to the conclusion, which I'm going to talk about the first paragraph, and then my friend Hilma will talk about the second paragraph, and she will also close our presentation. So the conclusion is the differences between social and natural is natural science limit itself to discussing about natural phenomenon that can only be observed. Only can be observed mean that we cannot really talk, or we just observing. There is no something like survey or interviewing. So while social science is a science that limits itself to the symptoms of human life, whether it's physical or not. Natural sciences are exact sciences, and social sciences are subject to change. And then the last paragraph is going to be my friend's part. Hilma, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. And for the last, you can see there's some picture on the screen, guys. This is the correlation between positivisms and also post-positivisms. And I will give you all the brief conclusion about our discussion today. The positivist paradigms has become the tool used by the scientists to discover the truth about reality, So the correspondence theory is the truth that positivism adopts in its pursuit of truth or the reality. According to correspondence theory, so a statement is true if it is supported by empirical evidence, while if we talk about post-positivism's paradigm, is a school that seeks to improve according the last or previously that positivism's flaws, which only relies on the ability to directly observe the object being studied and view the reality that exists in reality according to natural laws. So, but it is impossible if reality can be seen correctly by humans or researchers. Maybe that's all from our discussion today, and thank you very much for the opportunity to us and me, Sayyidah Manisa, and also my friends Restunissa, Kania. Uh, Pardon us for all our mistakes, and thank you so much, guys. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.